Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship. This episode, we are going to be talking about the protected, and that comes from the Book of Zephaniah, and that's what it means. It means hidden. Yahweh has hidden or protected. So, yeah, welcome, everybody. As always, before we get into it, we're gonna say hello to everyone who's on the panel tonight. As always, we got our sister Marcia here. How you doing, Marcia? Yes, I'm always pleased to have you here, sister. So thanks again. And BV is maybe away right now, so I'll jump over to Maggie. How you doing, Maggie? She's been on here, very good. She's been on here a few times, and her father said very eloquently that it's very encouraging to see young people on here, speaking about the word and having a desire for that. And uh, oh,
That's what can't
sorry,
hear the
guys.
guests.
Now y'all can be heard. I apologize,
Now
everyone.
we can be heard,
That was
right?
100% my fault for not clicking the
Ladies
button.
first.
Sweet. Well, it's fixed now. But Marcia, say hello again, and then we'll go Maggie
Hi,
and
everyone.
then
Glad to be here.
Hi.
BV. And BV has been with us before. Always good to have you here, brother. How you been doing? You're muted on your side.
Day's been well. Not too bad. Going good. Going good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Like
And
always.
for those that haven't been here in a while, we switched it up a little bit. So we're going to do all the stuff we used to do at the end in the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get into that before we get into. That is not what I want. 1 second, everyone. There we go. And let's actually just grab this. Okay, this might put a black screen on my guest's screen, but I'm gonna try it just in case they fixed it, or in the hopes that they fixed it, I should say. So bear with me, everyone. I'll give you just a second. There we go. Do y'all see it, or black screen?
Black
Yeah,
screen.
black screen.
Dang it.
We
So,
enjoying it.
but my guest will be able to see it here. How about now? Is it still black?
Yep,
Still black.
All right. Well, so to those that can see, which is the stream, shout out to everyone. Glad to see you. Glad to see y'all here. We'll get to y'all in just a second. I want to start off with shout out to Chris and Liz Bailey. They run Take on the World. This YouTube channel has a lot of great other content creators and other content out there that is it's just awesome, and they give this platform to other people for us to share our pieces of the puzzle with Take on the World family. So shout out to all those at Take on the World. It's always a pleasure. And we always read the comments from the last video, so let's go ahead and go to that real quick, and we will keep trucking. So and then we're at 765. So thank you all to those recent subscribers. It really does mean a lot that we continue to grow, even if it's incrementally. We want quality pieces, puzzles in the pile. So, as it grows organically, that's what we're after. So, but it does help to comment, like, share, subscribe, all those things help it get seen. So and who knows what seeds can be sown from just our conversations among fellow believers. So anyways, let's go look at the comments over on the Take on the World side and see what people had to say over there. Looks like we got 3. We got user. Oh, that's Marsha. I know it was stressful for Vader. I'm happy kept going. Way to go. Thank you, Marsha. Jared said, "Great job, guys. Awesome possum. Praise God and the Lord Jesus Christ for your table. Thank you so much, sir." And we also, my wife said, "Great job tonight. Thank you, love." And over on the Circle of the Earth Fellowship channel, pull that up. What's this? Oh, that's Discord. Sorry, guys.
It went
Hopefully,
blurry.
is it? Am I
Yep.
okay?
Just to let you know.
I think that YouTube is doing this thing to me again. Are y'all seeing it? I just want to check in with the chat. Are y'all seeing it over there? Like, are y'all is it buffering? Are y'all having issues?
Yeah, it was really blurry for
Yeah,
me,
they're
and it's
seeing it.
buffering.
Yep. Starting to straighten out. Give it a second. It's buffering on your end, it looks like, not ours. There we go.
Okay, I don't know why it's doing this. Like everything. It's like my internet is just going so slow, and there's no reason why it should be going as slow as it is. Okay, well, I'll just continue on anyways, despite the disturbances. It's pretty crazy how long it takes things to load. Okay, so we got 2 over here. Marsha saying always fun and we have a great time. I 100% agree. Johnny Cole said my family has been under a lot of testing from y'all. I don't know if we've passed, but I really miss hanging out with y'all. Much love to you as well, Johnny. Keep Johnny Cole in y'all's prayers, guys. That they might have perseverance in any, in the spirit of enduring in any of the difficulties that they're going on. Um, we'd appreciate that for sure. So thanks for the comments, guys. It really does help. And for those that don't know, it's not loading, but we have a Discord. It's in the link of the description. The link is in the description below. So you'll find it there. You'll be able to join the table, the Discord if you want. That's the first place to kind of start if you'd like to join the table at some point and share your pieces of the puzzle. So just know that that's available for y'all. But yeah, so that's all I have to share with the opening stuff. Thanks again for all the new subscriptions and the comments and likes and all that jazz. It does mean a lot. So, anyways, let's kind of get into it. So, what this episode is about, I kind of talked about it, is about Zephaniah. So there's only again, it's another 3-chapter book. So as I'm pulling this up, I wanted to. Uh, uh, do y'all know where the whole minor prophet thing came from?
I think you've said, but I don't remember.
Saint Augustine.
Oh, really?
Yes. So and the reason why I bring up Saint Augustine, I don't really want to get into it on the stream, but look if you're interested, look up Saint Augustine and some of the kind of stuff that was happening around the time that he was around, and I think you'll kind of understand why they're called the minor prophets and why they're kind of uh, labeled that way. But anyways, so let me pull this up. I will show it, and then we always like to read this the verse of the day. I feel like there's always a good sync there. So bring this over. So this one is Isaiah 55, 8 through 9. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." And as we come around to this table to discuss our thoughts, let's humble ourselves and realize, that we're playing with puzzle pieces while he's the creator. He is the author of creation. So we that's awesome. So Anyway, so we're going to be reading Zephaniah, the 3 chapters of, and just to get this squared away for those coming new, I use a King James version because I like the literary style. I don't think it's the all be all translation. I think we should use all the resources that are available to us, including Bible Hub, the concordances, the Septuagints, all the available resources to really dig deep into what we're trying to learn and what in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah. I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith the Lord. I will consume man and beast. I will consume fowls of the heaven and the fishes of the sea, and the stumbling blocks with the wicked. And I will cut off man from off the land, saith the Lord. I will also stretch out my hand upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place, and the name of the Chemarims with the priests, and them that worship the hosts of heaven upon the housetops, and them that worship and swear by the Lord, and swear by Malachim, or you could also say Moloch, and them that turn back from the Lord, and those that have not sought the Lord, nor inquired for him. Hold thy peace as the presence of the Lord God, for the day of the Lord is at hand. For the Lord hath prepared a sacrifice. He hath bid his guests. I wonder what guests he's talking about there. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel. In the same day also will I punish all those that leap on the threshold which fill their master's house with violence and deceit. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Howl ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, and punish the men that are settled there on the lees, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. Therefore their good shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. And the great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and hateth greatly. Even the violence of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. The day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, and a day of wastedness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Ooh. So, so I have a question for y'all. Like, so I'll kind of give my thoughts and then I'll ask you a question. So how I kind of imagine this is we're seeing a lot of language that is talking about the day of Lord, a future event, but it's also laid upon seemingly this during the time of Zephaniah, when the Josiah, the son of Ammon, was the king of Judah. See, it says in the days. So we know these events are taking place during his time, but there's also like like how I've kind of been the pattern that I've shared is this repeating pattern where there's also layered upon what's happening to them in that time also this prophetic language about a time to come. So to each of y'all, is that how y'all see it, or do y'all think this is purely talking about that at that time?
I see it as like the day of the Lord of what's coming. I don't, was it like that at that time for them? Because it sounds like,
Supposedly, or I should say, yes, it describes it as being like that.
but it sounds like the day of the Lord too. So yeah, I can see where it, uh, I can't hear you, Vader.
Okay, there we go. I don't know why.
Yep.
I didn't click that button. Anyways, in 5 it says, so I think it's like the reason why it's true then and true now is because the events that this is talking. Okay, so for instance, it says, and then that worship the host of the heaven upon the housetop, right? So the host of heavens is the stars, right? It's the luminaries.
Yep.
So there are people even nowadays that are
Yep.
worshiping the stars in this manner, right? So we know that not everyone who's done this has got in trouble, right? That has gotten judgment. There's people alive that are going through this. So that's why I'm saying it's also a future event. But like, for instance, okay, so I will also stretch out my hand. This is 4. Stretch my hand upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place, in the name of the Chirmarims with the priests, and them that worship the host of heaven upon their housetop, and them that worship and swear by the Lord and swear by Malachim or Moloch. So don't we like do we have these the chi Miriams with the priests? Do we have like open worship of Baal? So it's like those things in those areas were taken out, at least temporarily. So I don't know. It's I don't think this is purely prophetic language of a time to come. You know, like, okay, think about if some type of event happened, like let's just say a violent storm, right? So this last passage in Zephaniah 1:18 says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. All right. Well, like, let's take away the day of the Lord's wrath and say, like, neither silver nor gold shall be able to deliver them from a super strong storm. You get what I mean? So it's like we're at the will of the mercy of the Father, right? Like at any time, it could be our time to die. And
Right.
so this statement of saying neither silver nor gold is applicable to the men then and the judgment that they got then, as it is applicable to us in our times of judgment, and of course the day of like, you know, the time of tribulation, etc. So yeah, so that was kind of
Yeah.
my thoughts about it. Y'all have any thoughts of what we read, thing to pick out?
No, I think I spilled it already.
Alrighty, so that
Where was the gold and silver at?
that's the very bottom. It's 18.
Okay, and you talk, and I do know that on the prophetic end, like in Revelation, it says they throw their gold and silver into the streets. It's like, you know, what good is it? So
Yeah, and so wait, before we move on, there's also 13. It says, therefore their good shall become a booty in their house of desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof.
Like,
wow.
yeah, sounds like now.
Well, also, like, think about if all of a sudden And we've seen this before. If you were invaded by another force that was just overtaking you, right? You would
right?
have There would have been people there that had recently built houses or planted vineyards that either stayed and died or left and lived. So they
Hmm.
built houses that they're not going to live in, and okay, but also to the future, right? That's the same time, like the time that we're living in. There's going to be constructions of apartment buildings and houses and stuff in the day of the Lord. Like when that time comes in the Great Tribulation, the people are going to build and never use. They're going to plant vineyards and they're going to run away from it.
Yeah,
So,
look at
Yeah,
the
go
in
ahead.
China and all that.
yeah.
They have all those. They have cities they built
Yeah,
that
ghost
right
town,
now they're
ghost
not being
cities.
occupied. Right now,
Those,
yeah,
those,
exactly.
those cities. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of interesting stuff there, but we can go ahead and move to Zephaniah 2. Donna Porter over on Taking the World. Most of the people are over on the Circle of the Earth Fellowship. Um, but I don't know. I think YouTube is having a little bit of issues.
It is.
Um,
But it comes and goes. In fact, it even said your live stream quit twice
yeah,
on YouTube.
I there's
It's
not
weird.
like my settings are all correct. It's
Right,
basically telling me that YouTube is not receiving enough video, which makes
right.
no sense. I'm outputting like
No, it's YouTube.
if I look at my stats, if I look at
It's
my
YouTube.
stats of what Streamlabs is doing, it's totally
Yeah, it's YouTube.
so. Anyways, let's pull this back up.
Oh, where am I at? Where's that at? Ah, sorry.
It's okay.
Ah,
Okay, I'm gonna bring this back up. This is Zephaniah 2, and we'll keep going. So it says, gather yourselves together, yeah, gather together, O nation not desired. But before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It shall be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. So real quick, that hid is also Zephaniah. So Zephaniah can be protected or hid. That ye shall be protected in the day of the Lord. It's kind of saying the same thing, and that's Zephaniah. So Yahweh has hidden or Yahweh has protected. Anyways, in the day of the Lord's anger, for Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan, the land of the Philistines. I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. And the sea coast shall be dwelling in cottages for shepherds and folds for flocks. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed thereupon in the house of Ashkelon, shall they lie down in the evening. For the Lord their God shall visit them and turn away their captivity. I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revilings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, even the breeding of the nettles and the salt pits and and a perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. The Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship them, every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathen. Yet Ethiopians also ye shall be slain by my sword. And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria. And he will make Nineveh a desolation and a dry like wilderness. And flocks shall lie down in the midst of her. All the beasts of the nation, both the cormorant and the bittern, shall lodge in the upper levels of it. Their voices shall sing in the windows. Desolation shall be in the thresholds, for he shall uncover the cedar work. 1 second. This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly, that said in her heart, I am, and there is none beside me. How is she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie down in? Every one that passeth by her shall hiss and wag his tail.
And
Yeah, oops, didn't mean to click that. On the left click, meant to do a little bit of the right click in action. But yeah, like that's now we're not talking to Israel here, right? We're talking to specifically to the areas, to the peoples around. We even have this in 8 where it says, I heard the reproach of Moab and the revilings of the children of Ammon, whereby they had reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. So trying to do exactly what is described as unrighteousness, and that's to go and conquer and take people's lands that were given to them as through their inheritance. And that type of that pride, and it talks about it multiple times. If we skip here to 10, where it says, this shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves. See, right? It's their pride. And um, I kind of I want to use 11 to kind of switch a little bit to another topic and see what people think. But before I do that, I want to go to the chat and say hello to everyone that's there. We really do appreciate you having here, and so give us all a chance to say hello to them. So let me pull up that, and I want to say hello. Boom. Get that going. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, that's why. Okay. Fixing it now. Done. Sweet. So we got our dear sister Wendy Moore here. Maggie's dad, Country Dad, is here. My beautiful wife, thanks for being here. Jayla is here. She was with us, I think, last episode or the episode before. Great sister there. Another a young believer that has a heart for the Father. So shalom to you, sister. Jeff Porter had a great conversation in the after show on Discord last stream, so that was fun. So great to see you, brother. We got Brian Vervelli. Thanks for being here as well. Of course, Marsha is in the chat. Let's see, just scrolling down. Galade Tin is here. Welcome, brother. Always good to see you. Got Country Fun as well from the Country Fam. It's always good to see the Country family here. And we got Donna Porter. Welcome, sister. Saw you over there on the Tick on the World side. We got Francisco, a brother that I know that is actually local. That they went to the same congregation that we found. So welcome, brother.
awesome.
Glad you to be here. Sweet. So I think I hit every. Oh, we got Bear Pelagic Coffee. Welcome, brother. Good to see you. He's a well-known, amazing bear. And
Bear
it's
Pelagic Coffee.
yeah. He's he that's what he does for a job. Is he makes and sells coffee, and the bear community
Yeah,
supports him in
is
that.
he
So
one? Is he one that gets shouted out at on Owen's show?
yep, on Owen's show,
Okay,
is
okay,
also on Wits It Gets It's
okay. I know
channel.
who. He's the one who won the coffee, right?
He makes the coffee, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
sweet. Welcome,
Bear
brother.
Pelagic.
Um yeah, no. Much love. Sweet. All right. Well, we got to everyone, so let's get into what I was talking about there, and because this is okay. So recently, with the kind of big discussion that's going around about the Trinity and people's beliefs. Well, I'll first say here we can have different beliefs at this table and still walk away as brothers and sisters. That's the point. None of us have the whole story. We all have pieces of this grand puzzle. So it's our duty to share those things in love and not treat others as not brothers and sisters of the faith because they have different convictions or they're a different part of the walking that path, constructing that puzzle as you in your life. So anyways, here in 11 it says the Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth and all the men that worship them, from every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathens. So there's always this argument within Trinity, like that when we say, that they're not the same, they instantly go to uh, uh, right, because that word doesn't isn't Yahweh, Elohim, and
Right.
Book of Enoch. Uh, Lots of pieces of the Book of Jubilees, lots of pieces all around of Scripture that they're kind of ignoring or using gentle mental gymnastics. So while there is only one true God, there is many different gods, and
Elohim.
those
Yeah.
can be beings that actually existed or created idols of mankind. I'm not saying every single idol that has ever been made and prayed to was a being, but there was definitely beings that existed that people prayed to. And I think looking through archaeological, through the cultures, we see that same repeating pattern of it. So I just wanted to kind of get y'all's thoughts about that, of how we really do live per their definition of polytheism. That, yeah, like, and real quick, last thing I want to add is the first first commandment: you shall have no other god before me.
Right.
So why would it state like that if there wasn't other gods that could be put before him? So just some thought.
Little g gods.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of goes in with my next the next pieces in plain sight presentation, where it's gods with the little g, and we're going to be talking about them and exploring them throughout the different mediums of entertainment and art. So yeah, I'm still working on that. They're pretty big projects. The last one I only has 129, which I shouldn't say only, being able to share a piece of the puzzle with 129 people is, pretty great. And I enjoy making them. But anyways, um, let's see here. Okay, and this isn't really necessarily has to do. Last thing I kind of want to point out, this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with uh these verses itself, but more so what it's calling out. So, like Assyria, that's something that still exists. We had up here, we had Gaza. That's something that still exists. The Philistines, the land of Canaanite, right? Canaanite, that's something that still exists. Jerusalem, something that still exists. And so don't y'all think it's interesting that, like, those names haven't been changed when, like, you look at a lot of other places around the world, like their main towns, their main nations, like, have changed quite a bit.
Well, wasn't there I forget what was part of Turkey, and Ethiopia is part of Africa, which used to be part of Egypt. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's what Sean said is when Moses went to Ethiopia where he married his wife, and that was Egypt. It was the what is that? I don't know north, south, east, west. So, but it was the other. It was part of Egypt at that time, not a separate country. But
Yeah,
like it is.
I bet at points Egypt owned all of Africa.
Yeah.
And even, parts, past that peninsula. So, yeah, it really sucks that YouTube is giving this issues.
Yeah, it's giving fits. It's all
This is
blurry.
the second time I went back, checked all the settings and stuff. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing it. From my side,
From my side, it's also saying that it's popping it off stream.
Yeah.
It says off stream
Yeah.
and then on. Okay.
y'all really quickly kind of bring something up if you don't mind. I'm gonna go.
All right.
I'm gonna go check.
Oh, yeah. It's
Oh yes,
time.
Maggie.
Is it time?
You have something to bring up.
Oh, spoiler time.
Go, Vader.
No, it's on you.
He's telling you to bring something.
Oh, telling me to go?
Well,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
time. Bring it up.
So-
Bring up that morsel.
What I found was in First and Second Chronicles, and it talks about the book of the kings of Israel and Judah. And it's in First Chronicles 9, chapter 9, verse 1 and 2, and Second Chronicles chapter 16, verse 11. Where I
And
found
that
that.
means
You really
to
do
you.
look
I don't know how to
just
share. I have it brought up here, but I don't know how to. I haven't read them. I'm not saying they're legit. I'm just saying it talks about them.
Right. Oh, now we're offline. Now we're online.
It keeps going. It keeps doing that to me too.
No, you're muted, Vader.
I just went through my whole house and went to every device and shut them all, like put them all in airplane mode. So it's 100% not
YouTube.
my stuff.
I didn't think it was. Too many things.
Yeah, where's Lighthouse? When Lighthouse is going to happen and we get off of YouTube here?
So it literally says I'm running at 3,000 kbs, which I have my thing set to 3,000 bit rate, but YouTube is saying. Let me pull it up 1 second, guys. YouTube is saying that I'm running at almost half. They're saying I'm running at 1,500, even though mine is showing 3,000. So it's 100% YouTube. I apologize for GrapplerTube, guys. Anyways, okay, so you were we can totally switch to what you were talking about, or do you want to wait until let's wait real quick. We got one more chapter to read, and it's fairly quick, and then we'll totally get into the other subjects. So this is Zephaniah 3. There is only 20 verses. So I'll go ahead and read. So, woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice, she received not correction, she trusted not in the Lord, she drew not near to her God. Her princes within her are roaring lions, her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones, till the morrow. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. The Lord, the just Lord, is in the midst thereof, will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. I have cut off the nations, their towers are desolate. I have made their streets waste, and none passeth by their city are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instruction, so their dwelling shall not be cut off. Howsoever I punish them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my supplements, even the daughters of my dispersed shall bring mine offering. And that day shalt thou be not ashamed for all thy doings, wherein thou hast transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of thee them that rejoice in thy pride, and thou shalt no more be haughted because of my holy mountain. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, nor shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Sing, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. The Lord hath taken away thy judgments. He hath cast out thy enemy, the King of Israel. Even the Lord is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt see evil any more. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou not, and to Zion, let not thy hands be slacked. For the Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty, and he will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love, and he will joy over thee with singing. I will gather them that all sorrowful from the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time I will undo all the afflicted thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. At that time will I bring you again, even in that time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. So I love this pattern, guys. I love that even though there's this severe destruction, this severe judgment, of not only physical judgment where people are dying, they're losing their properties, they're being chased out of their place, their towers are made desolate, their streets are wasted, no one even goes by the city because no one habits there anyways. And I think about the those pictures that are painted. But as we've been going through these prophets, we see that lining, that silver lining, where there's always this praise to his people about the gathering of his people from all the nations. And we kind of see that reflected, and we'll eventually get there, in the Gospels and also in other places, where there is no Jew, there is no Gentile. We're all one part of, we're one Israel. We all have one consent. So the great kind of part to move here in 9, it says, for then will I turn to the people a pure language. Guys, we were just talking about this before, before the stream, on how English is like this language that, we were talking about judgment, and how judgment, like, you can be judged to be good, like at a ice skating competition, someone gets a perfect 10, they're judged good. And as that word, it always kind of has this negative connotation. But just how it'd be so amazing to have a pure language without the grabbledness in it. And it says that they call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent, or with one mind, with one will. They all have a desire and written in their hearts with their new bodies, right? In that day of the Lord, when we are given that the full payment of salvation.
That
Uh,
circumcised heart. That
yeah,
one.
and
Yeah.
it's just so beautiful. All this language that
Yep.
it gives to us.
It's like it reminds me of the same. It's always a, like in the Psalms, he might be going, "Oh, my bones are dry. Where are you, Lord?" All this, and then he goes out into praise on it. The end of it turns into praise because, anyway, that's how it seems to me. This is all going to happen, but, and I love 17. I love 17, where it says he's going to sing over us,
Mhm.
sing over us. Oh, how wonderful is that?
Yes, yes,
I
I
mean,
completely agree. It is very beautiful language, and this other part's really interesting. In 12, it says, "I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord."
mm,
I think that's very interesting.
it is. It's awesome.
I think again, I think that to me, this is talking about, it has, it's a real event, but layered upon it is talking about the actual day of the Lord, where
Right,
these are types and shadows of the day of the Lord, where people
right,
who are and nations who are living in iniquity eventually have a judgment day on those. We've seen places get destroyed as like for instance, we haven't seen it, but Sodom, Gomorrah as an example. And so to me, this also is talking about the future day of the Lord, um, and all these events are types and shadows of that event actually happening. And
right.
uh, so to like present time as well as past, we know that war, that destruction, that all the happenings of the world really, really hurt people and make them an afflicted and poor people. And with the day of the Lord, right? The living remnants, the people who survive the day of the Lord, the mortal survivors, are they not going to be afflicted and a poor people? But they're going to trust in the name of the Lord. And what I love is where it goes from that, right? Because these events have happened before. Well, I think this is more of a future thing. It says, "The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, nor shall have a deceitful tongue be found, or neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in the mouths, for they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid." And then last thing, 14. Well, there's more, but another thing is 14. Have y'all ever heard? I really like this song. I forget who it's by, but it's like, "Oh daughters of Zion, oh sons of Abraham." I have always, I can't remember the song. It's such a good song. It totally gave me chills when I read that. Shout, O Israel, be glad and rejoice with all thy heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. The Lord hath taken away thy judgments, and we were talking about this. He hath
Yeah.
cast out thy enemy, the King of Israel, even the Lord. It is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil any more.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah. Sounds like a deal.
That's a deal.
Yeah, it's a deal
I'm
for
ready for
sure.
it.
Oh, nice. Bowman 82. That's so funny. He said, "Boom, shabakalaka."
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Is he
Uh,
on Take on the World one?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Boom shakalaka.
Aaron, just yeah, that's a great song. I
Oh,
enjoyed it.
oh, that one. Oh man, we just listen to it. I just listened to it.
I love
On
syncs
Aaron
like that.
just I think, I don't know. Who hears an echo? I don't hear an echo.
It are other people hearing echo at all? If so, please let me
Donna
know.
Porter said it. She heard an echo, but I don't hear an echo. I don't hear
We'll
one.
have to wait for chat. But
What? What?
Oh, stop it.
what were you saying? What were you saying? All right, sweet. So yeah, that kind of concludes our Zephaniah discussion. You know, if you don't like the the literary style of King James version, there's other versions that I definitely suggest that you go back and read. There's not much to read, but there's a lot of I think a lot of thick gravy in there to kind of go through. But yeah, thanks for joining us for that part. So yeah, for the rest, we're gonna just be talking about some random things. I'll share some things, and we'll take it from there to the end of the stream. But the first thing we will start off with is with Maggie. She had something she wanted to share from.
She already shared it while you were
she
gone.
did? Oh no, but
Reshare it.
she wanted me to pull some actual.
Oh yeah. She wanted you to pull it up.
Was it First Chronicles? Second?
You're muted, Maggie.
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted, Maggie.
First
There you
Chronicles chapter 9, verse 1 and 2. I forget about being muted.
First Chronicles, you said chapter 9?
Yes.
One second to pull that up. 9.
That's funny. He heard. He's just a little behind. Yep. Muted. That was good.
That was my dad.
Yeah. Hey, country dad.
Okay,
That was
so First Chronicles chapter 9, you said 1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll pull it up for everyone else. Okay, sweet. So you can go ahead and read it, and I'll just have it up on screen. Or do you not have
It says, so all Israel were reckoned by genealogies, and behold, they were written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah. That's the main part.
Okay.
And then the other one. There's also one in Second Chronicles chapter 16, verse 11, I think.
Book of Kings of Israel.
And you said what verse?
16:11.
Yes. I love juicy bits. Yes.
And behold the acts of Asa, first and last, though they are written in the book of kings of Judah and Israel.
Yeah.
And
then it also talks about it in Second Chronicles 24, verse 27, and it says now concerning his sons and the greatness of the burdens laid upon him and the repairing of the house of God, behold, they are written in the book of the kings.
What was that verse again? I'm sorry.
Chapter 24, verse 27.
Now concerning his sons and the greatness of the burdens laid upon him and repairing the house of the God, and behold, they are written in the story of the book of the kings. Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. So how it keeps referring to this book of Kings, the book of
and the
Judah.
book of Asa or whatever. So that
I think Asa was a king, I think.
Oh, so maybe he was in the book of Kings.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. I'd like to see this book of Kings.
Hold on, I'll pull it up.
I was saying,
found it.
Offline, real quick. It's good that here we're spilling the knowledge we know, but it's great watching the young ones growing up fill those spots that we don't see or missed, and they become another piece of the puzzle. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Hey, welcome, JJ Hemp Creek Bear. Always good to see you, brother.
Fresh eyes.
It looks like to me it's saying that I'm excellent on both sides. So I think
Here's
it's
the
been
book.
doing better for everyone? For the
So far.
churches? Oh, I know, right? Wendy said the Vatican has them. Sis, let's go get them. Yeah, they probably do have all those things. I've talked about that before. Just like if you could teleport to anywhere, it'd be like I'd go to the Vatican,
Their
go to
library.
their archives.
Yep. Imagine what they have
Dude,
and what they've suppressed.
they literally
Oh,
probably like have giant
they're in the
skeletons.
Smithsonian.
Yeah, exactly.
They probably have everything we could have possibly
Yeah.
like that would blow our minds.
But we
But
aren't meant to know that knowledge.
well,
I mean, that's what they're giving. They're telling us.
Yeah,
yes.
We're not meant to.
Yeah.
sweet. Well, that's really cool. You said you found the books online or something.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Here, can I do that? And share it that way?
Oh, I see hers. I see
Can you see it?
hers.
You can see
Later.
hers.
I can see hers.
That's so
Yeah,
weird.
We can see hers and not yours. Yeah.
That's so weird.
I don't see it on YouTube, but I see it in here.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways,
Looking for a game to capture. What?
yeah, no, sorry. I was trying to see if I
Oh.
could change some screen capture settings, but when I did that, it did that thing that.
I see.
Anyways,
Yeah,
I kind of want to bring up a couple things. I don't really need to share anyone with anything for people to know. So, like with the whole Ohio thing, with all the Houston thing, with all the train crashes, I kind of mentioned this in Discord to Nick and Marsha were talking. But people don't realize how many train derailments there are per year. It's a big number.
Yep.
Another thing that people don't realize is the amount of people that are killed while walking down the sidewalk. For the year 2021, if you evenly divided all the people that died into the amount of days of a year, you're looking at 20.5 people dying a day. Now, if you had 20.5, let's just say 21 news stories about people getting hit by a vehicle while walking on the sidewalk, it would seem like a pattern of a malicious thing happening.
right.
But
I
all
get
it
where you're
is
going.
the voice is loud, right? So they're and the same thing if they focused on all of the train derailments all year, it would seem like something's happening more than, let's say, the company isn't putting as much money into repairs,
Right.
or they're not having enough people working the system for it to for it to be safe. There's all these other variables that come into it. And so the whole and I just, after the beer bug trend, we totally saw past the yellow and blue, you know, good guys versus bad guys over in Europe. We saw, okay, this is the next trend that they're trying to do. And they keep trying to get as many as they can to hook into that trend and jump on the bandwagon
And run
and
with it.
follow it. Right? Yeah.
No,
And
no,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say the only thing that got me was we did have as you like said with the numbers, but I'm just gonna put it out there. They did have 11 derailments in 12 days. Now that being said, okay, what I did notice was where they were at. Those were all in the farmlands
Uh-huh.
and everything growing up. So if you take all that waste and everything, that it's being spread and all that. Just like you had that other one where they burnt. Remember when they lit that one on fire,
Yeah,
Ohio?
yeah,
Okay, I think that if they've done that in a bunch of them, stuff like that. I mean, think about that. That's our farmland.
But
That's
how many of those again? What was the number of something like 1,200, Marcia?
yeah.
Train
Something
derailments
one
a year.
a
It's like
year.
around
I
one
get you
thou
1,200.
there.
yeah, over a
So
thousand
I'm
train
just
derailments.
saying,
But it could be just them falling off the track,
yeah, no,
not
totally. But
pilots.
they don't have
Kill 1,000.
1,100. They don't they. But I guarantee you, out of those 1,100, there's more than one that was a chemical issue. That
Oh
Got
yeah,
they
you there.
that they were
right,
dropping something that they
right,
didn't want to drop, right?
right, right.
So if they
You're
focused on that every
yes,
year, every trail derailment,
right.
let's just do. You're gonna have like 4 stories a day if you evenly spread it out. There's gonna be 4 train derailments a day, statistically speaking. That's gonna seem
I
crazy.
get you're saying that they're looking at it from a really one day, and in reality it's more than that for the year. I get you there. We were
Yeah.
just going off. I get what you're saying.
No, but I
Well, they're
still,
trying to make
and
it an event.
I'm not even saying real quick, Marsha. I'm not even saying that. What I'm saying is there is no nefarious. I'm not
Right,
saying that there is no nefarious action behind
right.
it. I'm just saying I don't want people to get swept up in the trends when it
Yes.
could be as simple as, well, they don't have any other trend to do. This trend happened naturally, and now they're freaking out a whole bunch of people, right? Like I
Right.
literally saw a post that was like, all the deer's antlers are falling off. Don't drink the water in Ohio. And it's like, people, you do realize antlers fall off every year, right? It has
Right.
nothing to do with the trail derailment. So I saw a lot of fear mongering
I agree.
in that.
Yes.
So, and it was plastered on multimedia. Okay, so here's another thing. This is actually a sync that I had with my friend John. John came on. It's only been one episode where we had someone who didn't already kind of agree, and the description of the earth and the heavens as per the Bible describes. And it was Conglob, where my friend John came on, and we all talked to him about various questions
Oh
and
yeah,
things he had about, our minds, our worldview when it comes to creation. And so, and we've already kind of talked about the Chinese satellite balloon.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a joke. They ain't gonna. Yeah, go ahead. I'll wait.
No, yeah. So all I was gonna, yeah. So
Yeah.
all I was gonna say is, when I was talking to John, he was like, "Yeah, man, like you were talking to me saying that all satellites were on balloons," and I was kind of thinking like, "Well, what does that look like?" And then boom, here comes the quote unquote spy Chinese satellite spy balloon. And he's like, well, that's exactly what you're describing, a satellite looking object connected to a balloon. And so it was kind of a cool sync where it kind of blew his mind, when it came to, what I had been describing, and then seeing
right,
an example of exactly what I
right,
was talking
right,
about.
The only
right.
sad part about that is Vader Bear is that they would not have let us see if that was something that was really that uh, dangerous on
Uh-huh.
us. We would have never. They would have never let the public see it. It would have already been done, gone a while ago. So they're
Uh-huh.
focusing on that. What I mean by that, the sad part is that he's linking up the satellite thing and all that, but in reality, this is something that is a joke.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
You know, I'm
well,
just
my kind of idea is maybe uh the balloon jettison mechanism that then, disconnects it so that the the asset can fall down, parachute open, C-130
oh, got
skyhook
you.
come grab it,
That's where it was at. I
that
got
it
you.
that it that over time it lost its buoyancy, whatever happened, so it was coming down,
And they use that for exploit.
and they said, "Oh, this is a Chinese balloon."
Right.
Because
Right.
just
That's a
think
good
about
one.
this, like, right? Chinese have satellites, right? Why wouldn't they just use a satellite instead of a balloon that we can shoot down?
Right. I mean, now that's interesting. Why would they do the balloon when they already got the satellites in
That's
space,
my.
right?
Yep.
Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Isn't DSL internet digital satellite link? Isn't that a
Yeah.
link from a satellite up in the sky? So why don't they just use satellites instead of balloons? That makes no sense.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, and the whole you're right, BV, the whole spectacle that they put on with it, with them shooting and missing and shooting and
Mm-hmm.
blowing up, and they can't find the pieces of it. And they did that. That was like the same time where they shot those three objects down in the
Yes.
Yukon.
Yep.
So they were all
And
trying to get people's mind on a certain idea.
yes, I agree. I agree. Well, yeah,
Um,
the other ones were the unidentified object that was shot over Ontario, right, in the waters between Michigan and Canada,
yeah,
in Lake Huron,
yeah, and here's what's funny about it is
right by
it's
me.
oh nice. So here's what's funny about that is how people think it's aliens even more now, right?
Yes.
Because they first said it was an unidentified object, and what's the first everyone thought? Aliens.
Yep.
And then they came on and said, "Oh, you know what? Those are actually just weather balloons." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, wait, they scrambled jets because of weather balloons?" You know, so what my point is then they add that new thing in
Satellites.
and they're like, "See, we know it's real because they're hiding the truth." Kind of like the Roswell thing where they said it was a weather balloon and then or they said it was like, "Oh, a UFO." And then they're like, "Oh, nope, it was a weather balloon." And everyone's like, "Oh, we know it's an alien now because we
Right.
knew it and then now they're hiding it." So, yeah,
Running with it.
a lot of shenanigans there going on with that.
Well,
For
you got
sure.
to do tests to see what the sheep are going to fall for. And
Scare tactics.
when one of these tests work and people
Like the
run for it, that's
beer
when they
bug,
run.
right?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
remember, like it was 2 weeks, right? Remember, all of us remember it was just 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks turned into 2 years,
Yep.
and so enough people went onto the trend for that 2 weeks where they're like, oh, we can take this trend to two
Exactly.
years. We can make it popular for the next 2 years, and just this is what'll be our main thing. And that's
Yep. Yep.
exactly
They're
what they
fishing.
did.
They're just waiting. Yeah, waiting for the right one to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Pull some couple things that my wife showed us.
Oh, and hello, Jeff. Nice to meet you.
Is there someone else in here?
No, 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 no.
Oh, you're talking about in
Earlier
chat.
on in the stream, yeah. Earlier on in the stream.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, flatten the curve. Exactly. Wendy.
Okay. So we were just talking about this, but I got one more to pull up for y'all. Okay, we got a couple things here. I'm gonna pull this
Yeah,
up
if it's
for
gonna be like
y'all.
that, you gotta do what you gotta do in the chat.
Okay. All right, so this is from Graham Allen's. My wife sends me some stuff that she finds interesting throughout the week. We got just a couple this week, but we'll look up some other stuff. I really think it's funny. Missing context, independent fact checkers say information in this post could mislead people. Oh, independent fact checkers.
Right.
I totally believe that. So,
Independent.
yeah, so let's go ahead and watch this.
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight because it's nature that we're talking about, and they will be dying, God forbid, because it's a horrible thing.
Wow. So for those, I'm just going to read it. This is Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, who his previous job was acting on a Ukrainian sitcom where he was the Ukrainian president. Pretty weird. He says the U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending our sons and daughters to war, because because it's NATO that we're talking about, and they will be dying.
I was talking about this on another server at one point, right when they started doing all this, and I had said this a while ago that they're gonna pull the trigger over there, and that's gonna suck all of us in.
I don't think America's gonna fall for it. Like to honest, that's why I keep seeing this thing kind of being squashed. Is like or I don't know. Am I completely wrong? Are there really a lot of people that have fallen for this yellow blue trend?
I think so. I think enough people have. They watch TV all day, half the day. You know what I mean? They're focused in on what's going on, and yes, I'm gonna send my son and daughter. Yes, I'm loyal. Yes, I'm gonna. You know what I mean? They're on that bandwagon, and I really think there's enough of them that they might pull it. They might. I'm just saying it's out there. It's possible.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's something that's in the brew, like something big.
But I think to actually pull the United States into it, I think that's going to take some more conditioning.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, a lot of conditions. It would have to be like it is always, right? Tonkin Bay attack, 9/11 attack, Pearl Harbor attack. There's always, so if something like that happens, right, it may drum up enough people beating the patriot drum to get that, because the kids coming out of high school now, they have like no idea about 9/11. Right? Like maybe the little they learned in school.
Yeah, right.
So maybe that is a card that they can play here sooner than later.
I'm a little worried about it. Go ahead.
Did he say send our sons and daughters to fight NATO?
No.
Is that what I heard?
He's basically saying that we are going to have to send our sons and daughters to fight just the way that Ukraine is. It says because it's NATO that we're talking about. They will be dying. So he's basically saying like they need to help.
Right.
Graham Allen, his comment was, "My loyalty doesn't belong to Ukraine. It is insulting that a foreign leader is talking about sending our soldiers to die in his war."
I agree.
Exactly.
So
that's send the sons and daughters where they're the ones with the information. They already just killed off a lot of our older generations that had a lot of information, and they're going to be probably going off. And now what? Now we got to send our kids off.
Yeah.
Kill off the old, kill off the young. Yeah. There you go.
Exactly.
Win-win.
All right, so this is from Project Veritas. Let's see what this says. This says, whistleblower video confirms Chicago Housing Authority leaving the homeless Americans on streets in favor of illegal immigrants and housing applications. So let's see what this says.
So they don't just get placed first. Well, they get placed first, they got nothing.
Like they're prioritizing immigrants over Americans.
Illegal immigrants, and they told me that those families was priority over us.
How many Americans are going with that 48? We can't let them in yet because the mayor hasn't approved it.
You didn't get a bed because we're here
3 days in a row.
3 days? Ain't no beds?
No bed. But immediately they housed them. Keep telling me I had to be a certain age to get a senior bill, certain age for low income, certain age to this. So now I'm 59 and you're still telling me I have to be old?
An insider has come forward to Project Veritas to expose a practice within homeless shelters that prioritizes non-citizens over Americans.
They told me that those families was priority over us. I was number 20 on the list, but now it done went to 67 because they say I dropped because they had to prioritize the illegal immigrants. And I'm like, that's so unfair.
How about the homeless Americans? They will get placed after once it's they get placed after. No, the mayor has to set up the social workers because obviously FEMA, and so we're temporary. We're going to be here, set them up, and go. The mayor decides when it's open to local. Yeah, we gave her the money. The building's there. She has to order because she's got to put the system in place to help you guys out.
Wow. So basically, they're allowing people who are in this country illegally to get housing, homeless
Correct.
shelters before American citizens. That I kind of get it, with like people calling the masses and stuff, because it's like how are the people that are working there being like, wait, no, I'm not doing that. I'm helping this person. You know what I mean? Like, how is there not an outcry? Why do people have to go like secretly record this and ask, it's just so insane.
It's because it's not the mainstream's taking it the way they are, and we don't get our own voice anymore. It's done. So they got to go around, and they have to do it. They don't have a choice, right? Am I getting that from what you're saying correct?
Yeah, well, like, I don't know. Don't they have a choice? Can't they stand up? What I mean is enough people were fired, right? Where they couldn't get anyone else to do it, then they couldn't do it, right? So it's like if the people actually stood up, but there's so many people that like need that job, and I get that. I'm not throwing shade at people that need their job to survive. Just like the people that, for them, like wearing the mask was okay if it meant they got to keep their job, right? Like, I'm not throwing shade at them. I'm just like, if enough of us said no, then the answer would be no.
You're right. Well, let me say something on that one. My buddy who works at Michigan State University, Mark Skidmore, he's one of the professors there, and I had asked him, how many people are on board with going against the bug juice, and he goes 1. Or I asked him a percentage, and he's like under 1%. I'm like, really? He goes, there's 1, and I'm like, who's that? And he goes, the janitor. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He goes, Brian, you got, and I go, no, I already got you. And he goes, go ahead. I go, let me guess. Because he's got a $5 million house he's paying for. He's got 6 kids that he's going for, or paying for through college. So he's got his foot. He's got certain placeholds that he's got to keep going. So a lot of these people will not risk putting their job or credentials on the line to get it done. Just like getting peer-reviewed papers right now is very hard to get done because nobody wants to look at our stuff that we present or anything like that. Just saying. That's the problem we have. There's not society, and the way it's molded now has got us fixed in a jam to where not enough people are doing, like you say, are putting their foot down. A lot of people feel like they can't. Why? Because they won't. That's what it comes down to. My friend Mark is a little different, but he's willing to risk his career and everything because this is our livelihood. This is for our children.
Yeah.
This is for everything. Go ahead.
Oh, no, totally. I agree. I completely agree. So I like it's a good time to search some asteroid news. I don't know if y'all remember, but they had the whole DART mission. So the DART mission was them shooting the equipment at the asteroid. So here from The Verge, their headline is NASA. Let's see here. It says NASA DART mission proves it can save the planet from killer asteroids.
Killer asteroids.
So guys, like, this is literally, remember the chick I always forget her name, but the secretary or spokesperson for Warner Van Braun, is like first it will be the Russians, then it's gonna be interest nations of interest, and then it's gonna be asteroids,
Yeah.
right? And they literally, like, with all the out the fanciness, right? Like, just think about this, guys. The movie The Armageddon. The movie The Armageddon. We thought, like, when we watched that, they had to fly two ships there. They had to put, nuclear weapons drilled down X amount of feet on each side to break it apart, right? All
Right.
NASA had to do in real life was to shoot one satellite out of it after it. Think
Right.
about
I
that.
got you. I got
They
you.
just had
Yeah.
this thing dink, and they're like, "Oh, good enough. We succeeded. We proved." It says researchers conclude that the double asteroid redirection site DART mission proves humans can defend Earth from planetary bodies impacting it. It's like,
They proved it. They proved it, right?
remember last year, last September, when NASA crashed a spaceship into an asteroid to see what would happen? Like, what if the bad thing happened? What if they deflected it towards us?
Right. Right.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
totally, Lindsay. It is way more legit. But what my point is people believe we just sent a single spaceship, a single satellite, and that deflected the kinetic impact technique.
Of this big asteroid. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. So, very stupid, very funny. And there's all this other. Guys, here, did y'all know this is time-lapse video of the Dimyos Dimorphosis? How much y'all want to bet those are names of gods?
Yeah. No, you're right. I probably link too. Yes.
Probably.
So look, guys, the Earth is a globe. We can tell by this, right? Because if they didn't have this from this Hubble telescope, we couldn't know that this happened, right?
Right.
Let's actually look it up real quick. I bet you they're gods.
That's what I noticed. A lot of them are named after all the missions, everything.
Have you?
Yeah, was a mythological hero from Athens.
You know how they keep talking about sun flares and EMPs and all like that?
Yeah.
Where? What do y'all think is going on with that?
With EMPs and stuff like that, I think they're gonna, if they try to pull anything. I used to build cell phone towers and stuff like that. So we put what we locally called it as jammers. And what that does is it jams everything. But anyway, what I'm getting at here is they have the way to shut it off and just call it an EMP. They have ways. I remember how they talked about China being able to flip off your switches and all the chips. Same type of thing.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that because, like, okay, Middle East, they have a lot of money, right? But they're depicted of having a weak arm. Wouldn't, like, just think about that. If they just sent in a drone and then just EMP'd a base, isn't that whole base gone? They can't start any of the vehicles. They can't use any of the computers. They can't make any calls.
That's supposedly
Pretty
exactly
much.
Right. So, but
right.
Why aren't they using, like, why wouldn't they really be using such a powerful device?
Because it's probably just switches.
Yeah, it, like he's saying, they're just cutting the lights out and be like, oh, like they could totally do that, but one, that requires someone to flip the switch, right?
Yeah.
Like they're
going to be doing multiples. I think
Yeah.
they're going to be flipping the switches and also doing a small EMPs here and there that are real.
Yeah, I don't know. EMP is a thing that's like sounds a little retarded, just
It does.
because I want, like, I've never seen anything do that.
Neither have I.
I've never
The
seen
only time,
anything like that.
the only thing I could come close to being an EMP was my mother. There was some kind of surge in the electricity, and it blew the television up. But it only was that television, you know.
Yeah.
And it was in the line. It had
And it was
nothing
in
to
the
do.
line.
Yeah. See, yeah. I've been looking up EMPs for a while, and I like I'm not in the middle. I'm more on the way of it's not, but there's certain things that still point me to they have the certain type of technology that they can do it.
Yeah, who know? Well, I know, like, there's jamming devices, right? Like, they could
Mm-hmm.
roll up to your house, flip a switch. Now all your phones and stuff aren't working. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's like a signal jammer. That makes sense because they're just polluting the air. Whereas,
Like I was saying with the towers, yes.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it is for sure. It just seems like another one of those things that is just made up. But anyway, so
I think so.
I
think it's made up.
This little, I'm going to read this real quick. The primary objective of DART, which stands for Double Asteroid Redirection Test, was to test our ability to alter asteroid's trajectory as it orbits its larger companion asteroid Didymos. Though neither Dimios or Dimiformos pose any threat to Earth, the data of the mission. Okay, so coming over here, the Greek god Dinios was dismembered into countless pieces by persecutory enemies, the Titans. Yet he remained a figure of many guises and pursuits. He was called the Divided, Undivided, the Loosener, the Lord of Souls, the Lord of Wild Beasts. His realm was outside the conventional restraints of the city. His dances took place on hillsides near woodlands. In the city, he ruled theater, both comic and tragic. So why is this scientific company, why do they continually link it to pagan gods?
Right. Giving homage to their own their own kind, their own way thinkers. I don't know how to say that exactly right, but you know what I mean.
No, I totally get what you're saying. So yeah, just interesting thoughts.
Well, they've been putting the whole asteroid thing in our face for a long time. I even just had a buddy that was showing me pictures of a supposed asteroid thing, blah blah blah, that happened, hundreds of years ago. And I keep asking people now. I'm like, how come nobody sees any big asteroids anymore? How come we're not finding them anymore? Go ahead.
When I was a kid, I heard of asteroids. That's long. That's ancient days ago. I heard about comets, Halley's Comet, asteroids. It's not something new to me. But what it is to me is a little more in your face. But
it planted a seed.
Yeah.
So now, whenever they show us the rocks in the universities and in the museums, and then later on when they show it on TV, you saw one go, or it went over your house. You had a shooting star. Now it's got that concept in your head, kind of like space did. How they, when you woke up to FE, as soon as you woke up to FE, you did a mind change. It was a fracture. You had to fix that fracture and readapt and rechange how everything worked. Same thing.
Yeah. Well, then I started just seeing things as lies.
It's one domino that knocks over the rest, and it opens your eyes to everything. I got on my hands and knees and said, God, I'm sorry. That's when I realized he was right there. I'm like, whoa, my bad.
Well, I didn't feel bad. I was angry that I've been lied to. I was angry that, and that then I saw all the lies and I thought, oh, you feel dumb for being so stupid, especially Richard Nixon calling the space shuttle on a landline,
And there
like,
was no delay,
Yeah.
nothing.
no,
Like,
no,
wow.
hey, you guys.
So that asteroid, when that DART spacecraft hit it, lost 1 million kilograms.
Hey, hey, show me can you measure that for me?
Yeah.
It's an estimation.
How like just think about that. Do you think you could take a
Off a boat,
picture of
yes.
something, of a rock that's undescribable amount of distance far away, and be able to tell the weight of it
Exactly.
pre
Of
and
course
post
it could.
explosion? Like, just that, and just the amount, like, it's also the amount, right? Like, they
Yep.
want you to imagine that little picture that they show of that thing, you know, of it going like this.
Big. Yep.
That it's, guys, that little part that they broke off, that little part was actually 1 million kilograms. Believe it or not. So dumb.
It's hilarious what they're pulling off. You know, the things that we woke up to that other people should wake up to that they're not. But we see it every day now. We walk through, you know, when you're watching a movie, we see all this stuff now. It's crazy what they pulled over in 100 years. It's crazy. That's all it took. 100 years. Well, probably a lot longer than that, but I'd say last 100 years really sped it up.
Well, actually, when deep inside the rabbit hole, what's his name?
David
Weiss.
David Weiss. He when he interviewed that 100-year-old lady, 103. She was
Rose?
taught flat Earth.
Yep.
My nanny was. My grandma was.
It was taught up until the 50s or 60s, if I recall the last
Hey, I was in the
school
50s.
to teach it. And that's one of the last schools, if I remember when I researched it right. It was 50s or 60s. They taught it was flat.
I don't even remember. There was always a globe in our classroom. So.
Oh my gosh, this is from NPR, guys. I gotta show this to everyone. It says the Chinese balloon saga could be part of a new space race closer to Earth.
Closer.
You mean because y'all can't do anything? Y'all can't, like, guys, come on. They're literally saying a space race closer to Earth.
Yep.
We can't even get off a low Earth orbit. It's like,
exactly. They got to bring it to us.
yeah,
they got to zoom it in.
They're like, oh, nope. Instead of them learning from their lesson and not using a balloon that could be shot down, they should be smart like the Americans, you see, and put their spies way up there in satellite orbit. So dumb. Oh my gosh. So this is just a quote real quick. It says, strengthening the exploration and understanding of near space, seizing the strategic commanding heights of near space, and cultivating emerging high-tech industries have become the focus of the competition among the countries around the world, declared the president of China, the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Oh, Lord. Do you think, like, other countries just saw it and, like, wow, even the Americans are falling for this? That means we can extort our nation now too.
If they're not on board already,
yeah.
You know, they're already set up.
What will ethical space exploration look like? So stupid.
Ethical. I like the way they put that in there.
Oh my God. Space officials want to create a time zone for the moon, guys.
Oh.
Space exploration? Like, is it going to expire?
No, not exploration. Exploration. My apologies.
Exploration.
But still, that's a good link.
The moon could have its own time zone. Space officials push to create standard lunar time.
That's so hard for me to listen to this.
Wait, standard lunar time then?
I know. Yeah, they're trying to create a
It's the
whole
opposite
time
of our
through
time.
the moon.
Yeah, in a way.
Oh my God.
Oh, cool.
It's going to go along with the lunar month.
All right. Well, we're about, let's see, about 15 minutes out. Is there anyone, like, I brought up a whole bunch of random stuff. BV, you got anything? Marcia, you got anything that you saw or wanted to talk about from this
Nope.
week?
I don't watch any of this stuff, so you have to show it. Maybe something comes across my feed once in a while, but
We pretty much hit a lot of
yeah.
stuff that I've been kind of looking into, and the rest of the stuff is really still looking.
Yeah. Sweet. All right.
Other than I was hung up on some of that. I shouldn't even say it. Owen Benjamin and who is it?
Jim
Jim
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, let's talk about the JB.
Oh,
really
let's
quick.
talk about them.
Let's talk about rim job for a second.
Rim job, yes.
So my whole thing with that is, and this is just my personal opinion, I never liked the guy. Even from the very beginning when he like became a part of the community, I never had any interest in him. I actually was willing to give him a chance because he was willing to have a conversation with Owen Benjamin. But that conversation obviously brought about all this drama, weeks of rim job week, where we have to talk about this guy doing all these crazy things, recording private conversations, telling him, just all this insane stuff. So it's unfortunate. I feel like the like I'm not talking to every Orthodox person. I just feel like Orthodox Catholicism, Baptist, like all of the titled denominations out there are. I'm not saying like they're all evil. A lot of us have came from these denominations. I'm just saying they're stuck in their old ways, and they kind of have to be. So,
Good one. They have to be.
yeah. So,
but that was it was unfortunate, and I don't follow Owen, but once in a while I'll click something up.
yeah, but then Sean went over
right.
onto their side, and let's actually play that.
Oh my gosh, that was so hard, and
that was. But I feel like I just want to show something because I think it's kind of important to talk about because that was on the right because this okay. I feel like these arguments are the same type of globe arguments where it comes down to like you just gotta believe, right? You may not understand it, it may not make sense, but just believe it is, right? So we're not gonna play much of this. Just a couple minutes that JB is actually there before he tucks tail and runs.
Before he says
he's getting, intellectually eviscerated by Sean here. So yeah, we're gonna play a little bit of this. Give me a second. Let me let it load. Pause. There we go. Let it load a little bit. While we let it load, I don't really have any other way of taking support. I feel like if y'all do want to support, y'all should get something out of it. That's why I went to the merch side so that like shirts and stuff like that, it's something that you get as opposed to just giving it to me. And I feel like that's a good trade. Here the link is in the description. It's here too. It's missing some stuff. I need to go check that out. But that's a great way to support. My wife is getting this one. We'll be having that soon, and we'll have her make a little video with her sporting it. So yeah. Anyway, so let's go back here and.
I wish I could just buy them off you.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, eventually, maybe one day I'll have my own machine and be able to make that happen. Yeah. But here, yeah, let's.
Well, we just did kind of a quick critique of some of the positions
Hey,
you held. So, do you have any
I should drop that link
counters
in
to
on
what how we
ACF
responded?
of
Quick categorization.
something Ken Heilbrook had about. He showed a little video of this dome thing, domed earth thing. It was really nice. I'll have to. Anyway, it's kind of like the model they're doing, but it was a really nice model on an old map, and it shows that, but it doesn't show the domes like this. It shows them like rings. Anyway, it's on the YouTube, on the Kingdom Crew YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And I can drop the link to the place that has them. But go
Yeah,
ahead,
do
play
it.
that.
Throw it in chat, and we'll go ahead and watch this for a couple of minutes, and we'll come back. Not for sensitive viewers.
Did you guys have questions about
a little lag?
what I presented? Do we want to talk scripture or philosophy?
Well, we just did kind of a quick critique of some of the positions you held. So, do you have any counters to what how we responded?
Quick categorization question. If you guys are classical Trinitarians, is that correct?
Oh, here it is.
You're not oneness.
YouTube is not wanting me to play it, apparently. All right, well, I'm not gonna play it. Go check it out on the Brave Believer. It's the Kingdom Context's other channel. Go show him some love. Yeah, it is a sensitive video, but this guy, like, he's in a lot of pain, guys. He went from living a pretty heathenistic lifestyle to orthodoxy, and so I feel like he's trying to bring a lot of baggage inside of a door that has a lot of baggage in itself, and he's definitely going through some pain. So he's got some stuff going on. So if you do consider him our enemy, even more so, you should pray for him. So yeah, go check that out, guys. It's pretty. He basically self-projects onto Sean, tells Sean that his behavior is feminine when everything he's doing is feminine. He says, "Oh, you're being sneaky by answering my question." It was so weird.
That's so typical of one that's damaged, like you said, is they will project what they see in themselves and they'll project it onto you. That is so typical. It's typical of trauma, actually. Trauma in their lives. He must have had trauma sometimes.
100%. All right, sweet. Well, we got 10 minutes. Go check that out, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. And I really am enjoying this Not Minor Prophet series. I hope y'all are too. But yeah, let's go ahead and say goodbye, and we'll get out of here. So I'll throw it over to you, Marcia.
Good night, everybody. Always a pleasure. Glad to see you all here. And put your thumbs up and put comments in the comments. Absolutely. And I tried to put that link in here, Vader, but it wouldn't work. It had been just this long, whatever.
Super long one. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, there is a Discord in the description, so if y'all want to join there, we can post it there as well.
Yeah, that's
if you're interested. Sweet. I'm gonna jump over to BV if you'd like to say your goodbye, sir.
Well, thank you for having me. I always enjoy these conversations. They always get my mind going and like it ain't going already. But usually it puts me on a better path, and I thank you guys for that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And isn't it crazy how fast 2 hours goes by? Like when you're just talking about this stuff, it literally blows my mind every time. We're like, wow, it's really been two hours. So
Time flies when you're having fun.
Jayla and Jeff, typically, and anyone is welcome to join the after show. We'll get on to the Circle of the Earth Fellowship Discord and just kind of continue the chat. Obviously, we're a lot more freer to talk about things and not have to self-censor because a grabbler too likes to do what grabblers do.
Well, I'll just say, mwah, mwah. Sorry, I won't be in the after party chat. I got to go straight to a Zoom Bible study. So, but have a great time.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll go over to Maggie. Maggie, if you'd like to say your goodbyes.
Thank you for having me on, and good night, everyone.
Yes, and thank you for your ladle of gravy there with showing us the mentions of other books that we don't have, and you'll have to share that in Discord as well. So thank you for that. Sweet, guys. Well, thank you all so much for being here. If you're in the live chat, we love you guys. If you're watching this afterward, after it's live stream, thank you for that as well. Make sure to smash that like button, to share it, to subscribe. It really does help the channel grow, get more pieces of the puzzle on the table. So all those actions, comments, likes, shares, subscribes are all free. It's a way to support the channel, and all you have to do is click a button. So if you'd like that to happen, we appreciate any and all support. We're getting closer to that 1,000. So thanks to all the new subscribers. For those that celebrate, who start their celebration at evening, or their Shabbat, I should say, Shabbat Shalom to those who don't. I'm sure I'll see you in a chat tomorrow, and I'll Shabbat Shalom you then. Other than that, guys, good night, everyone. Love you, fam, and remember, it was ABBA that loved us first. Good night, everyone.
Amen.
Good night.
Matter